Okay, let's start. In a full stack training, we'll be covering our basics, and then Spring Boot. In this, we will be covering mainly microservices, RESTful web services building, and then we'll be creating React.js web application. In Spring Boot, we'll be using JPA as well, microservices in the JPA. This is to work with the database, store the data, whatever we are getting from the front-end application. As a back-end application, it should be capable of storing data and also updating data and pass it to the front-end application via a microservice. We will see that how. Get into core Java. In core Java, OOP concepts are very basic concepts in core Java. OOP concepts are class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, and then abstraction. These are the main concepts. What is a class? Class is a collection of data members. Let's take when we are defining a person height and what color that person and weight of the person, we indicate with some of the attributes to define a person. If you need to define a place, you use some of the attributes. Similar way, to define something in a programmatic, in a core Java or Java language, we call classes. Let's say I wanted to define a person. Whenever you go to your classes and in your online, you could see a list of students enrolled in the class. A list of student names will populate, right? How those list of students, student is a person, right? Type of a person. So that person details all are structurally stored into a, a storage space and retrieve that into a front-end application. When you guys tap on something or log into your system, you could see a hierarchy or list of students in that class enrolled, right? Similar way, to do the programming, we use concept called a class. So what is the syntax of a class? How do definition of a class is a collection of data members and member functions. I'll define that with an I'll I'll give you an example to understand the definition. Let me put a definition here. Class is collection of data members. There are n number of definitions for this. Easiest possible definition I'm adding. When you use research, whatever you learn, if you feel that is good to remember, you can go ahead and remember that definition. Whatever I'm explaining, it is sharing a concept with an example. Once you understand the concept, how you wanted to learn your definitions, we could use lot of tutorials on the web. You could use that and prepare your notes as you want it. Okay. So syntax for the class is it use a keyword called start with the class and then class name, open brace and closed brace. That's it. This is the syntax for a class. Now I want to define a class person class. How I can define? Put a class keyword and say person here, last name as a person, and open close curly brace. That is an example. Now, to define person attributes, what we define person attribute? Attribute means like what is the person name? Name is one attribute. And then color of the person. And then height of the person. Right? I'll stop with the three. Okay. These are the attributes. Class is a collection of data members and member functions, I said. These attributes are nothing but data members of the class. And member function is a person. If we add some of the functions to some functionality to this class, person class, if you add some of the functionality in the form of a function, those functionalities will be called as a member functions, right? Let's say person display details. That is a member function. When we talk about the functions, I'll add more description there. What is a function definition and syntax? We'll talk about that one. For now, just remember functionality of a person will be a data member, right? Now, what is missing here? What type is a name? What type is a color? What type is a height? Type means, let's say, if you are reading a book, you have letters, right? Putting letters together a word, you could say, if words all frame in a way and you see a picture, you named it as a picture. It is a type image. It is a type word, right? How do you differentiate in a real world looking at a book? This is a picture, this is a word, this is a book. Book is collection of pages, right? How you are defining. Similar way in a programming language to define the data. Data means name is a name is a collection of letters, and weight is kind of like 2 kg, 3 kg. It is in a number system, right? How do we define numbers in a programming language? How do we define words in a programming language? How do we define fractional numbers in a programming language? Right? How do we define characters in a programming language? Those are called data types. What are the different data types we have in Java? Data types are string, char, byte, int, double, int, double, float, etc. So majority we use string, integer, double, float, this. So when we define a data member, what is the syntax for each data type? All are defining a variables in the programming language. Syntax for a variable is we will be having access specifiers when we talk about inheritance or different other concepts. We will talk about these public access specifiers when we code those ones. For now, what you can remember, public, private, protected. protect. These are the access specifiers. Access specifier name itself says specify access to a data member we are defined. When we put a data member as a public, outside of this class, we can access the data member. When you put a private means that is only accessible within this class. Protect, it is a package level. Within the package only, we can restrict. In a bigger actual project, we will see these access specifiers in detail. For now, syntax is for variable, that is access specifier, and then variable name, data type, and then variable name equals to value and semicolon. That's the syntax. I'll give an example. Access specifier is a public. In data type, as I said, string. In variable name is name is equals to John. It means like we define a variable called name value John, right? In this class, can we specify this name is a string, public string name, and you can put semicolon. You don't need to assign the value.